Welcome to the Royal Calcutta Turf Club Calcutta Races Spring Meeting 5th day Wednesday 1st March 2023 race preview. The first race of the afternoon is the Autobahn Handicap for horses rated 1 to 26 to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. First up, we're looking at three runners from race number 80. Number 1 was Footprints, faringly raced filly. Footprints was in second spot as they entered the home straight, then went a little backward. After the race, it was noticed that Footprints was trotting lame. Number 2 is Crypt, who's already had a couple of wins in this race. One in race number 7 over 1400 meters, one in race number 74. In this race, Crypt finished on third after travelling in second spot for most while. Number 5 was Mystic Grey, who's had 4 starts so far. In his last start, Mystic Grey was in 5th spot and eventually finished on 6th. The winner here was Swift Lady, who won that race by 3 parts of a length. Three runners again. Number 3 is Sea Dragon, who's had 3 starts so far. Placed an earlier start in race number 74, where it finished on third to Script. In this race, Sea Dragon took the turn in 7th spot, made up a placing and finished on 6th. Number 6 is Light in the Sky, who was in 5th spot as they entered the home straight, then weakened and eventually finished on 9th. Number 7 is Daddy's Dream, who was in 2nd spot, kept on finding something and eventually fell short and finished on 3rd. The winner here was Musical Sound, who ran wide of the track and took charge in the last 50 meters. Number 4 is Hunar, who's moved base from Western India. The first start it had on the Calcutta track was in race number 67, where it went over 1400 meters, was leading the pack into the last 200 meters or so, eventually started weakening and gradually fell back to 5th spot. And the winner here was Tornado, who got the inside passage and won that race by almost 2 lengths. We move on to the second race of the afternoon, the Astro Dance Handicap for horses rated 41 to 66, rated 21 to 46, eligible to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. First up, we're looking at 3 runners from race number 89, where they went over 1400 meters. Number 1 was Magneto. Magneto was in 2nd spot as they entered the home straight, kept finding something and eventually finished on 3rd. Number 2, Mandolin, who was winner in an earlier start in race number 48, where it won by beating Divine Hunt. In this race, Mandolin took the inside passage but could not really accelerate the way the jockey would like to, but eventually finished on 4th. Number 5 was Embrace, who travelled a little wide of the track and eventually finished on 7th. The winner here was Harvest Time, who won that race by a length and a quarter. Couple of runners. Number 3, AGOSTINO CARRACCI, won in race number 63, then it finished on 4th in race number 76, and then it finished on 2nd in this race after taking the turn in 4th spot. The other runner was number 9, Mescal, who was a winner in a couple of starts in race number 44 and race number 69. Over here, Mescal came into the race wide of the track and then eventually finished on 3rd. The winner here was Temu's Choice, who won that race by 5.5 lengths. Number 4 is Ghost, who's had quite a few starts in this season. In his last start, Ghost was in 7th spot as they entered the home straight. When asked for an effort, Ghost did not really have much in the tank but did made up a placing and eventually finished on 6th. The winner was Pepper, who absolutely blew the field away, won that race by 7.25 lengths. Number 6 is PISA. After moving from Western India, a couple of starts for PISA. First up in race number 51, it finished on 2nd to Regency Smile. In his last start, PISA took the turn in 4th spot, came up down the center, but the race was already over because Monteverdi had a useful lead and PISA could only finish on 3rd. Three runners we're looking at from race number 95, number 7, D My Heart, who took the turn in 11th spot and made a couple of placing and finished on 9th. Number 11, which is Castillo. Castillo was winner in race number 79, where it got the measure of Erin. In this race, Castillo took the turn in 5th spot and came up with a run down the center and finished on 3rd. The other runner was number 12, Hashtag, who has had 3 starts, has been unplaced in 3 of his starts. In this race, it finished on 10th. Number 13 is Dreams. After coming down from Western India, Dreams has had a couple of starts. First up, it finished on 3rd in race number 51 behind Regency Smile. In his last start, Dreams was the joint favourite as they went to the post and took the turn in 4th spot but could only finish on 5th. The winner here was Tycoonist, who got that race in a 3-way photo finish. Number 4 is Summer Air. Was a very eye-catching start for Summer Air in race number 15, where it finished on a flying second after being slowly out of the gates, but has gone off the boil since then. Couple of unplaced efforts over here. Summer Air took the turn in 9th spot, was seen finishing on but could only manage to finish on 6th. The winner here was Regency Gold, who won that race by almost length and 3/4. We move on to the third race of the day, the Cameron Handicap, for horses rated 61 to 86, rated 41 to 66, eligible to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. We got 3 runners which went up against each other. Number 7 was 1000 Words. 1000 Words was leading the pack until the last 150 meters, where it weakened slightly and eventually finished on third. Number 2 was New Look, who travelled a little wide throughout, was in second spot as they entered the home straight, then weakened and eventually finished on 6th. Number 1, Delphini, after finishing on second 3 times in a row, in his last start, Delphini into the last 150 meters started bursting out of the pack and won that race by a length and 3/4. Number 3 is Pepper. Pepper moved from Western India. First scheduled start, Pepper was withdrawn. In its last start, Pepper was travelling in third spot, where it went over 1200 meters in race number 92. Then into the last 250 meters started to show out, and Pepper won that race by 7 1/4 lengths, beating Joel Lafayette into second. Number 4 is Exotic Queen. Exotic Queen has had 4 starts so far. First up, it finished on 3rd in race number 10, then it finished on 4th in race number 23, then it finished on 3rd in race number 57. In its last start, Exotic Queen was leading the pack as they entered the home straight, then weakened and eventually finished on 7th. The winner here was Monfortino, who won that race in a close finish by a short neck. Number 5, Risina Star. Couple of wins back to back for Risina Star. First up, it won in race number 30, where it got the measure of Star Justice by 5.5 lengths. In his last start, Risina Star seemed to be labouring into the last 200 meters, but then under the jockey's urging came up with a run and got the measure of Delphini and beat Delphini by almost half a length. Number 6, Taimu's Choice. Couple of outstanding runs for Taimu's Choice. First up in race number 93, where it got the measure of AGOSTINO Karachi by 5.5 lengths. Then after a winning penalty in his last start in race number 95, was in 6th spot, then burst out of the pack wide of the track and won that race by 3 lengths, beating Joel Lafayette. Move on to the 4th race of the afternoon, the Robin Hood Handicap, for horses rated 21 to 46, rated 1 to 26, eligible to be run over a distance of 2000 meters. First, if you're looking at race number 85, where we had 4 runners. Number 1 is Dream Station, who eventually finished on 5th. Number 4 is Divine Chakra. Divine Chakra, who travelled in 2nd spot as they entered the home straight, then weakened slightly and finished on 3rd. The other runner was number 5, Edmund. Edmund was travelling wide of the track, eventually finished on 10th. And number 7, which is New Hustle. New Hustle took the turn in 11th spot, stayed on in 11th. The winner here was Rocca, who won that race by almost 2 3/4 of length. Moving on to number 2, Creation of God, has had 5 stars so far, has been knocking on the door of sorts, Creation of God, but its last start was in 3rd spot. When asked for an acceleration, Creation of God did not have anything in the tank and fell back, eventually finished on 5th. The winner here was Dubai Gold, who won that race in a very close finish by a short head. Number 3 is So Special, was second in race number 34, where it finished on 2nd behind Regency Smile. In his last start, So Special was in 6th spot. When asked for an acceleration, did not really accelerate, and after the race it was observed that So Special was trotting lame. Since then, So Special did have a mock race. Number 6 is Prosperous Prince. Prosperous Prince has had 4 starts so far. Last 2 starts have been eye-catching. In race number 54, it finished on 2nd to Odin over 2000 meters. Then it went over 2400 meters in race number 73, where it was in 2nd spot into the home straight. Then finished on 2nd behind Magneto, almost 9 lengths behind the winner. Number 8 is Beautiful. Beautiful has had 5 starts. It placed in race number 1, where it finished on second to Compliance. In his last start, a no-whip race over 1600 meters, was in 4th spot. When asked for an effort by jockey Hindu Singh, started to accelerate late in the day and got the measure of asterisks by about a length. We move on to the 5th race of the day, the last feature of the season, the Wolf 777 Calcutta St. Leger 2023 for Indian horses 4-year-old only, to be run over a distance of 2,800 meters. We got 5 runners. First up, we look at number 1, Hero of the East. In 3 starts in the season in Hyderabad, it finished on 4th in race number 66 behind Francis Bacon. Then it finished on 2nd in race number 112. In his last start, went over 2,000 meters, was on a start to finish mission and won that race by 3 3/4 of a length, beating Carnival Lady into 2nd. Number 2, Leonardo. Number 4, Monteverdi, who have clashed against each other a few times so far. In the Guineas, Leonardo finished on 4th, where Monteverdi finished on 2nd. In the Derby, Monteverdi finished on 3rd and Leonardo finished on 4th. In their last start, they were engaged in a ding-dong battle all through the last 200 meters, and the camera was required to separate them. Number 3 is Magneto. Magneto has won a couple of races already in this season, placed in one of the earlier starts. In race number 27, it won over 1600 meters. In his last start, Magneto went over 2400 meters, was in 3rd spot as they entered the home straight, but then was given the cue by jockey Imran Chisti and started to accelerate, and boy, it accelerated. Won that race by 9 lengths, beating Prosperous Prince. Number 5 is Sonata. Win legend out of bold reply. 3 starts for Sonata. First in race number 21, it went over 2000 meters, finished on 2nd to Mandeville. Then in race number 42, the Oaks, it finished on 3rd to Success. In his last start in the Derby, it was sort of on a start to finish mission, was in 3rd spot as they entered the home straight, weakened very rapidly and eventually finished on 7th. The winner again was Success. We move on to the 6th and last race of the day, the Yerevan Handicap for horses rated 1 to 26 to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. First 2 runners we're looking at is number 1, Reagan, number 7, Our Choice in race number 100, where Reagan took the turn in 6th spot and eventually finished on 4th. Number 7, Our Choice, who was a little slowly out of the gates, was in 3rd spot as they entered the home straight, then gave up and eventually finished on last of 8 runners. The winner was Beautiful, who won that race by almost a length. Number 2, Sporting Trainer, was winner in race number 38, where it got the measure of high spirit over 1200 meters. Since then has had 1 placed efforts in race number 69, where it finished on 2nd, and 3 back-to-back unplaced efforts in his last start in race number 97, where it went over 1400 meters, came a little wide of the track and eventually finished on 6th. The winner here was Jawai, who won that race by almost 2.5 lengths. Number 3, Indian Star. Indian Star, couple of placed efforts in race number 67, it finished on 2nd. In race number 74, it finished on 2nd again. In his last start, Indian Star was in 8th spot as they entered the home straight, then made up a placing and eventually finished on 7th of 10 runners. The winner here was Regency Gold, who won that race by almost length in 3 parts. Number 5 is Ashwamegh. Ashwamegh has had 3 starts so far. Unplaced in first 2 starts, and the last start had hit the board, was in front as they entered the home straight, eventually finished on 4th. The winner here was Musical Sound, who won that race by coming wide of the track and getting the measure of the rest of the runners. Lastly, we got number 6, Copper. 3 starts for Copper. First up, it finished on 10th and race number 26. Then it finished on 7th and race number 57. In his last start, Copper was in 4th spot when asked for an effort, did not really accelerate, was hanging out a little bit and eventually finished on 5th. The winner here was Script, who won that race by almost 2 lengths. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you at the races.